Today we're going to find out, is it worth it to spend the extra money on iPower's Yamaha powered generator, or is the normal model just as good? We'll go over a few tests, which is going to include some sound checks. We're also going to go over a full load check as well, doing a few different methods. And then we're also going to see, is there any difference as far as the weight? And if you check on Amazon, both of these are available right now, and you'll see links down below in the description, and you can pick up the Yamaha powered one for just about $200 more. And as we take a look at the generators, they look exactly identical as far as the face plates and also the sides. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take these apart a little bit to kind of inspect the inside to see what is actually really different. Are we only getting a Yamaha powered engine, or are we also getting the better carburetor and exhaust and some of the electronics as well? So we'll pop off both of those side panels. We're also going to take off the exhaust plates as well, and we'll take a peek back here to see, are we getting the better muffler? So after we pop both of those panels off, you can see they look exactly identical. And as we look at the muffler on the Yamaha, you can actually see the Yamaha stamping, which is a good thing. That means this generator should be quieter. As we look on the red one, you can see no stamp, but the muffler does look exactly the same. And as we look at the generator winding coils and everything, back there also seems to look the same as well. So now what we'll do is take a look at the engine on the red one, and this is actually powered by a motor called Sensi Power Group. And these guys make clone engines of Yamaha's MZ80 motor, which is the one that's right next to us. And so by looking at the differences in this, you can see that the valve cover has some cooling fins on it. And then we'll take a look at the carburetor to see who that's made by. As you can see, this one's made by a company called Huey. And so we'll also take a look at the airbox real quick. And so looking at the airbox on that one, now we'll go over and look at the Yamaha powered generator. And as we look down below, you can see that you can actually see the Yamaha stamping on it. And note that little nub that's just above it. We'll look at that in just a minute. So then you take a look at the airbox right there. That looks exactly identical as well, besides the sticker. And now we'll also take a look at the carburetor to see, are they running the same one as well. And as you can see, it's actually by a company called Ruin. And so just to mix this up a little bit, you can actually see I threw in one other popular generator, and we're going to take a look at the similarities of these real quick before we go outside and get the testing going. As you can see, this generator also looks almost exactly identical. It's actually running a Rado R80 motor. That's a company that makes that particular engine, and they make Honda clone engines along with Yamaha clone engines as well. And so if we look at the carburetor that's on this particular one, it's also using the same one as the Yamaha as well. And if you notice, the engine, as far as the cases and the stamping, the oil filler neck and everything, looks exactly the same as far as the other two generators as well. So if you also take a look at a couple of the specs that the Yamaha iPower has, you can see that it says it's ultra quiet at 52 decibels. And we're going to check that to see, does that Yamaha muffler make any difference or not? We'll take a look at our specs here real quick, take a look at the rate weighting that's on it. And if you look at the net weight, you're looking at about 48 pounds. Both of these units will have oil, and our rated amps is right at 13.3 running amps. And so before the weight check, I siphoned out all the gas, and then I ran both of the generators until they both ran out. And so now when we weigh these, the only thing that's left in it is the oil. So after weighing this about 3 times, you can take a look and see that it comes out at 51 pounds. And this had a rated weight rating of 49 pounds. And the Yamaha generator actually had a rating of 46 pounds. So we'll take a look on this one, and remember, it does have oil in it. And this one is a pound lighter, which was surprising considering how similar they are. So we're going to start off our sound checks with the exhaust facing us and the eco mode is off. And so we're going to let this run for just a couple more seconds, and after letting it run, we found out that it was basically an average of about 72 decibels. And now as we turn the generator, you can see how much quieter it is right off the bat, and the eco mode is still off. And that makes a difference of almost 10 dB. And so as you can see with the exhaust turned away from us, we had about 62.7. And so now we have the eco mode on. And you can see that that also helped drop it a little bit more, so we'll let it run. We'll get an average. And so after letting it run for a couple times doing this test, I found out about 61.5 was about the average I was getting. Now it's the Yamaha's turn. And I was hoping for some better numbers, but it seems like for the most part it's coming out exactly the same. And as you listen to the generator as well, it also seems like it has a slightly different pitch. So now we've turned the exhaust away from us. As you can see, again, it's pretty much coming out to about the same numbers that we saw previous on the red generator as well. So at 63 dB, it really doesn't seem like that extra money is paying off at the moment. So we'll turn it on eco mode and hope for the best to see if we get some lower numbers, hopefully into the high 50s. But it seems like after letting it run for a little bit and doing the testing that we've done, it's pretty much going to be exactly the same as the red one. At 61.5, that's still not a bad number, but it would have been nice to see those upper 50s. And while we're here, we will run both generators to see what it would be like to have two of these in parallel. That way you can hear what it sounds like with both of them running. So with both generators running, you can see it actually didn't double the sound, but it only brought it up about 1.5 dB, give or take. With two generators running, at only 63 dB, that's a pretty respectable level. So now we're going to get on to our power test here real quick. And right now we don't have anything connected. We're just checking out the voltage that it's putting out. And you can see that's 124.7 volts. We'll do the same thing with the red one. And you can see those numbers are pretty much the same. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook up my travel trailer, which is a 30 amp service. That's where we're going to do our load testing. I have an umbrella there to help get rid of some of the glare so we can see the numbers better. And so we'll go inside, we're going to turn on a few things in here and let it run a little bit, and we'll put some load on those generators. And I'll pop up a monitor here real quick, that way we can see the action in real time. So we'll take a look at the battery monitor. I'll put a link up here if you guys are interested in that. You can see the battery's fully charged. So the only thing on right now is the converter. That's what charges that battery. And so now we've turned on the microwave, and this is going to be about 1300 watts roughly, give or take. We're going to let this settle down so we can just kind of see what it looks like on our numbers and kind of see what the amps look like and what those volts look like. And remember, this is 13.3 amps rated. So basically we're using about 90 to 95% of what's available for this generator, of what's recommended. And you shouldn't really overload these. It's not good for them. But for a short period of time during these tests, it'll be fine. So now that we're done with the microwave test, we're going to go run a heater that's pretty popular. A lot of people will run these during the winter or when they're out camping in cold areas. So we'll turn this guy all the way up. This is a 1500 watt heater, which leaves us with about 100 available watts according to the generator. But you can see we're already at 12 amps. And this little heater right here is a 350 watt heater. This is great. I'll put a link up for that as well. So now we're going to see where our peak ends. Almost 1800 watts, pretty high. So we're going to go out here and switch the generator real quick, and you can see that we're at 116 volts, just about 15.5 amps, and we'll see if there's really any difference between this one and the Yamaha powered one now. So we'll hook up and we'll start over. And I'll basically get that little monitor up here again so we can see, and we'll do the same test to see, is there really any difference? So we'll go in here back to the microwave, and we'll fire this guy up and let it run for just a little bit, and we'll see if there's any differences in the numbers. You hear the generator kick up and start running. And so running pretty close numbers to the red generator from earlier. We can see we're still right at about a little over 12 amps and still at 120 volts. So our numbers still look good there. So now we'll go ahead and we'll head over and do the same test with the heater and the little heater that's also in the back. Turn off the microwave. Now we'll head over to this little oil heater again. And I'll turn it on a little bit slower this time, that way you guys can see kind of what each level is like. So that's on low. Then we'll go to medium at almost 1000 watts. And then we'll turn that on high, back to 1500 watts roughly. You can see our amperage is about the same as a microwave as well. Okay, so we'll head back to the bathroom where that little heater is, which draws about 3 amps at 350 watts, and we'll see if it goes any higher with the Yamaha powered engine. And you can hear the generator rev up a little bit more, a little bit higher on the amperage it looks like, and shut off. So that's basically it for those two tests, but if you look at the generator numbers, you can see how close they really are. So this is going to help determine, is it really worth it to spend the extra money to get the Yamaha powered engine? Yamaha's a great generator. It's one of the best out there besides Honda. So if you guys like the video, give me a thumbs up.